All right, so it's still February, so we are going to be celebrating what's called Black History Month. Now, I know we have Valentine's Day, we talked about Chinese New Year, but all the month of February, we're celebrating people who are African American. So we're going to go over 3 very famous African American people today. The first one, we need to draw a bus. Kind of like a rectangle, but we have a end on the front of it. This is a public bus, like the kind that would take you around the city. It used to be very common back in the day that you would hop on the bus if you wanted to get one place or, a few blocks downtown. Not a school bus, an actual bus. Got headlights, 2 half circles for the wheels. You got the window where the driver is. And then we need a big rectangle for where the door is to get on the bus. Then we need some squares. Notice we're still using all shapes. Some squares going all the way back to the back of the bus. Now it used to be in the olden days, okay, way back when, probably before your parents were born, definitely before I was born, it used to be that if you had darker skin, you had to sit at the back of the bus. Okay, if you had lighter skin like mine, you could sit toward the front. Easier to get in and out of the door right here. Well, Rosa Parks had darker skin because she was African American, so she was told, you guys sit at the back of the bus. And one day she said, no, it is my right to sit near the front of the bus because I need to get off. So we can draw Miss Parks right here, closer to the front of the bus. She would have her little hat, and she had her hair. And she said, it is my right. And back then, you weren't supposed to go against the rules, okay? So she was arrested by police for not sitting at the back of the bus. Her name, and we'll write here on the side of the bus. Let's make a big rectangle on the side of her bus. It was Rosa, R-O-S-A. P-A-R-K-S. Rosa Parks. She said it wasn't fair that the fact that her skin was a different color that told her she had to sit at the back of the bus. It wasn't fair. I've got red hair. It would be like me saying that people with red hair are smarter, better, and better looking or prettier than everyone else, which wouldn't be really true. That's an opinion, okay? There's a lot of smart people who don't have the same hair color as me, and there's a lot of prettier people than me, okay? But back then, people with darker skins were told, no, you got to have less than we have if you had lighter skin. So Rosa Parks made the rules change so everyone could sit near the front of the bus. You could sit wherever you wanted on the bus. And the bus goes down the street. Okay, so it's not good that the bus is out in space. So let's draw 2 lines to say the bus is on a street. And we can have the lines going down the middle of the road. So just little rectangles for that. Now another thing that was invented by a person, an African American person, you might see it, and you've actually seen it every day. Your parents have to stop when the light tells them to because traffic lights are an African American invention. So let's have a very thick line or a very thin rectangle. And at the top of it, I know you've seen one. I know you've seen one the last time y'all went out to get groceries or just had to go somewhere. Put a rectangle on top of that. And the rectangle has 3 circles in it. And of course those circles are going to be green, yellow, and red. Because it's a traffic light and it tells you when to stop and go. That was invented by an African American named Garrett Morgan. Okay, so he invented that. So he was very smart, like a lot of African American people are. Okay, we'll put a sidewalk back there. If you ever need to pause me, you can go ahead and pause me. So let's have some buildings that our bus is driving by. We said we use the bus to get around through the city. Sorry if it's loud, that's the heating, cooling system in here. So tall buildings, short buildings, very short buildings that are kind of long, and buildings that are really tall. Kind of like how we did the skyscrapers in our New Year's project. And at the top of one of these buildings, I want to have what's called a billboard. Okay, it's those special signs that you see by the side of the road. They usually advertise something or tell you things you can buy. So a rectangle above one of our buildings. Okay, oops, I almost forgot. G-A-R-R-E-T-T, Garrett. It's a very odd way. Look, got double letters here, double and double. Garrett, M-O-R-G-A-N. Garrett Morgan invented the traffic light. Okay. So up on our billboard, we're going to talk about a guy named George Washington Carver. Now, George Washington was our first president. This is an African American man who just happened to be named George Washington, and his last name was Carver. So two different people. So we'll put G-W-C for him, George Washington Carver. And George Washington Carver, a lot of people say he invented peanut butter, but he did not invent peanut butter. Peanut butter was all year round. He made peanut butter better. Okay, he made a better butter. A better peanut butter. That's a fun thing to say. So we're going to put a kind of an H shape here, a peanut, okay, shape. He was responsible for breeding or making better peanut plants that produced better nuts, more nuts, so people wouldn't go hungry in the South. He was a plant scientist. So he did peanuts, and we can have some leaves coming off of it. So he was responsible for making sure people didn't go hungry in the South with better plants to grow better food. Very smart man. All right, so let's add some things to make these buildings look like buildings, like maybe doors and windows. And that's just a bunch of squares. That's easy. And we can say that Rosa Parks is riding at the front of the bus on a glorious sunny day. Good sunny weather for growing those peanuts by George Washington Carver. And a great day to go out for a ride and use the traffic lights invented by Garrett Morgan. So if you really like peanut butter, you can thank George Washington Carver for making a better peanut butter. All right, I will have my finished example for y'all to look at. Go ahead and finish drawing in your windows and coloring your bus. and I will see you next time. All right, bye-bye.